put the Chris Paul stuff up.
Oh, put it up again. I'm saying I can't help it. You know, I do design shit.
Yeah, no, I started like I had some time, so I did it. I put a little filter on it, and then I grayed out all the pictures in the back. I think I would have wanted to do that picture in the front just a little better, but
crop it so you can't see the cutoff stuff. That's
yeah. That's the only thing I really wanted to do better. But I felt like I did the rest of it really good. Oh, hey, wait, man.
Yeah, the background is cool.
Oh, snap! Whoa, hey, yo, hey, Bobby G, man, I appreciate you being here. Hey, Jay, I know you. There. I see your image. I know you there.
I'm here.
Man, look, hey, real quick before we get into a warm up, man, we might as well just have a little convo. Do you guys know who BYU's head coach is?
Oscar Mayer.
Okay.
It's about to be AJ DeBanson. That's what it is.
I had to look it up because, of course, if y'all been living under a rock, AJ DeBanson went on ESPN of all places, told the world he was going to BYU to play under head coach none other than Kevin Young. What? Kevin Young. Hey, hold on, wait. I gotta show it to the people, man, because I was very, very confused. I thought it was I thought it was a big name head coach or something, but it's this guy. It's this guy, right? And I'm not gonna take nothing from him. I'm not gonna disrespect him, but it's this guy right here, Kevin Young, who apparently at one point in time coached Kevin Durant somewhere. Did Kevin Young coach Kevin Durant at Texas? Maybe. Is that or in what at the EYBL or something? I don't, because I'm lost on that one.
I don't know, but all I know is he has nothing to do with it. He's going to BYU because they gave him $7 million.
What? Yeah. Hold on.
That's not all.
$7 million?
$7 million. That's his NIL deal. $7 million. That's why he's going to BYU.
I thought he was Mormon. Low key, I was like, well, maybe y'all trying to get him. Maybe he's Mormon. You know, he's going to follow his Christian faith.
I would be Mormon too for $7 million for 4 months.
Nah, that's not why.
That's not why. Why you think it is, Jay? What you think?
I mean, it's the $7 million because we thought we had somebody in Chapel Hill. BYU dog. What do we? Let's. How can I say this? BYU, man. I just think how could I? The snow.
That kind of snow, Jay. Yeah. But wow. Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, they got one. I mean, that's a long shot, BYU. Good riddance. We don't need you.
Don't be mad, sir.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing.
What did Jay say? Don't be jealous. That's a female trait.
Wow.
No, I'm cool. He's gonna be out anyway. We don't really do like one and doners, man. We don't do that.
We don't do the one and
liar.
We really don't. We really don't. Now, what one kid might overhear in an elevator to propel him to be the number 2 pick by the Atlanta Hawks when he should have stayed his ass in school. And with him being on the bench, one Marvin Williams, not to say any names. When you get guys like that overhear conversations they shouldn't be hearing and they let it get to their head, it is what it is. When you have a guy that say, hey, you could be in the NFL Hall of Fame one day. For real? I'm going to stop playing basketball and just watch every game from the bleachers. Things happen. That's what being great and bringing in greatness at all times. It comes with it. Sometimes, We gotta let the Kevin Durant's go. Sometimes we gotta let the AJs go. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just gotta let them go.
I don't think y'all letting them go. I think they're letting you go, sir.
Rick Barnes.
Speaking of letting go, man, I'm about to let this intro go. We might as well start the show. Yeah. We are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, KWhit, right? Your mama's #1 draft pick. And I am getting ready to cook on the grill tomorrow. Got a rack of ribs. I'm finna season, marinate. Let's sit till tomorrow, man. I got the good charcoal. I got some good oak wood. I got out of Home Depot that a friend of mine that I've never seen before pointed out for me. I feel as though I'm excited. That's why I wanted to tell y'all. Other than that, though, ladies and gentlemen, man, we got the gang in the building. We're running threes for now. We got a 4 on the bench. We're waiting for him to get finished with another game. Of course, we got our guy, Audible podcast on Audible Bobby G. Bobby G, want to do what?
What's happening? You know what it is. 24-2. 22-4.
Dang,
let's go.
I was hoping you wasn't going to talk about that quite yet. Then of course, man, I got my brother from another mother, man. Straight out the RecRoom basement. We got Jay, the MIC. Jay was really good, bro.
I ain't talking about records right now. We're not here to talk about records.
We're not here to talk about records. Oh man, okay. Well, we know what time it is with the records. Yo, man, check this out. So we in the building, of course, like we always do. This is RecRoom in the hoop. Excuse me. Let's talk sports in the hoop. Wink, wink, you know what I'm saying? Right now we are.
I have hair. What are you talking about, man?
I'm about to say
I have a flowing mane under this fitted cap.
Talk about him, man. Yo, so of course, right now, man, we're going through a couple things with the NBA season, but we're gonna start it off right at the top, man, top of the show. Something exciting that I think we're gonna just throw out there. It doesn't even have to do with basketball, but it does have to do with one of our brothers. So we're gonna throw it to him. Pause. So coming up next, right here in the cold open, man, we're gonna talk to Jay, man, my brother. So Jay, man, what type of effect does a name like Bill Belichick have on an athletic program known for basketball, like your Tar Heels?
It's crazy. Fresh off of another soccer championship, women's soccer, excuse me. It's something like we've never seen. I would imagine there have been some coaches to come back to some schools and bring make a big impact. I still think when Spurrier came to Columbia, that was big. Not as big as this, of course, but a lot of people don't know that they actually changed the standard of education or enrollment, or should I say admittance, admissions when it came to test scores and things like that, due to Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier was like, we're not gonna win. You keep getting these kids from these prep schools and gonna stay here for it. So you started seeing the Sidney Rices, the Demetrius Summers, and I would say around somewhere between Lou Holtz. But anyway, this is something big for the school. Like somebody with the resources, such as a Bill Belichick, coming to a program such as North Carolina, which pretty much, stops at no cost when it comes to certain things. If you want to look at it, they kind of scale back, when it comes to like NIL opposed to other schools, because I don't know, they're pretty still kind of old fashioned in a way. If that makes, I don't know, if that makes sense. But bringing a Bill Belichick to the program, like I said, with his resources and the type of influence, the type of optimism, the type of excitement that he has, the excitement that he has, the willingness to want to teach these kids and bring them up, have them ready, for the NFL level. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty big. It's something we need more of. You know, we really do. I was happy to see somebody like John Harbaugh when he went back to college, the coach Michigan. Now that didn't work out. Of course, his big thing is the NFL. But some coaches are great teachers, so with the resources, the fact that we brought in national championships, in so many different sports, I would say like a total of like 50 something, which isn't enough. I would think Stanford is at the top when it comes to national championships at like 120, as far as every sport. So, but still a prestigious school when it comes to sports. Like, you know, um, I don't know. This is new. It's uncharted territory. Like, with like I said, the colleagues that he has, the type of people that he could bring in to talk to these guys, to talk to everybody in leadership. This could be an example that can be set that we can probably see sort of a trend. Probably not as big when you're talking about championships and the type of greatness that he's been around or he has produced, but man, this is something that we're not gonna be used to see. Hey, I'll say the same thing, Ron, but he's him. He's him. Like, not too many of us have it where like we can go anywhere we want. We could say, hey, we're gonna do this for a little while. Hey, I could do this for a little while. I could be with this person. I could talk a little ball. I could do this. Not too many people have that type of job security, no matter where they go. Like he didn't get jobs because the people that could have been around him were scared to lose theirs. That's why he didn't get the Falcons job. That's why he didn't get any other job. So, regardless how it's coming, Ron, you're answering. You're here. Appreciate you. Yeah.
Definitely, man. When I saw it on the screen the other day, I definitely said, man, I gotta ask Jay about this because, of course, the Dean Dome gets live and it has a tendency to bring the football coaches out. Mac Brown oftentimes was there on the sidelines, doing the thing, the thing they do when they pass the ball in. Yeah, so I wonder if Bill Belichick will participate in that. Man, Bobby, when you think about Bill Belichick, the head coach, going to a school like Chapel Hill, is it gonna have some type of effect on basketball recruiting? Maybe because so maybe we get some two sport athletes to get on the team or something. Is that what you think?
No, it's gonna have zero effect. It ain't gonna have an effect on the football team. Like, what are you talking about? Wow. Like, Bill Belichick is old school. This is an old school thing. It maybe in the late 80s and 90s, Bill Belichick going to that type of school would have had some type of effect. But you're dealing with a whole generation of players. These players care about what you did. They don't care about Bill Belichick. Now, if Tom Brady would have been the coach, yeah, because we saw Tom Brady win 7 Super Bowls. Like, yeah, Bill Belichick coached it, but these kids don't care. Bill Belichick's reputation on the college level is zero. Like, you speak on Harbaugh being successful, but what did Harbaugh have? You remember, you said when he went back to the college level, he had already had success in college. The kids already knew him. They know him from Stanford. You know what I mean? See what he did for that program. So there's a difference. Bill Belichick has his that's like me starting in North Carolina, basically. like it's a big so what. Even you look at all the great ones that went, like Pete Carroll. Remember, he started off in college, went to the NFL and failed, then came back and had success. Right. Same with Nick Saban. He had some success, went to the NFL and failed, and then came back. But they had the reputation of being successful before they left. So North Carolina is still going to be a mid-tier football team. Bill Belichick is going to take his bag and ride off into the sunset in 3 years.
Man,
So, I mean, it is what it is.
I'm dream.
I'm about to say, I think he got a positive. I think he's gonna have a positive effect. Everything I've been seeing these last few few hours of us actually soaking it in points to if Belichick can somehow get what right now overall it looks like they were 6-6 with a 3-5 conference record. Yeah, 3-5 conference record. If we can get above 7 to 8 games for a North Carolina Tar Heel basketball team, he's doing something. And I think that's not asking too much. I mean, Dion took a 1-win team to all kinds of heights. So I can't imagine what the young kids are going to think to say.
What did Dion have that Belichick doesn't?
His sons, 2 of them.
He has 2 sons that are in this generation promoting on social media. He has sons that know exactly what's going on. They know the temperature of the room. Bill Belichick doesn't.
Oh man!
So like Dion resonates with this generation because he has kids that show him how to resonate with this generation. And then he backs that up with Super Bowl rings and reputation.
Yeah, big shot. And I already gave Travis Hunter. Big shouts out to Travis Hunter. Most steps in the FBS this season by any player, and more than likely front runner and winner of the Heisman Trophy. So now that we went ahead and knocked on the door of some college football, we're gonna go ahead and get into the basketball, man. We are expecting one of our other guy to jump in, so we're going to skip over this first topic because I want him to go ahead and get his whole heart on the screen for you guys. And we're talking about Allen Peralez, who is an avid anything Oklahoma guy, so we're going to wait on him so we can talk about his Oklahoma City Thunder. But we're going to go ahead and jump straight into the fast break. Now, y'all know how we do the fast break, man. We're going to go ahead and get through some of these topics rather quickly. And, of course, we're going to start with what is relevant right now with the in-season tournament, all right? So, bang, out of nowhere, right? We got that in-season shocker, man. Which quarterfinals upset shook the tournament the most? Now, if you don't know, I'm about to show you. Of course, it was out of, unbeknownst to most of us, somehow, some way, Evil Trae Young is who showed up. Evil Trae Young is who showed up to Madison Square Garden the other day, and somehow the Rockets, the Houston Rockets, found a way to bottle Steph Curry up just enough, frustrate him just enough to prevail. What was that? I think Thursday night. So it's crazy to see that with the predictions that we had on RecRoom the other day, which were for the Knicks and the Rockets to move forward, kind of was right, as the Rockets did win and the Knicks lost to the Hawks. So, fellas, man, out of these 2 wins, which one probably shook us up a little more?
Not the Hawks. We got to stop it, man. We got to stop giving this dude just stop, man.
Why?
Think because think about it.
Man.
It's not. It's deja vu.
Another
bro.
Opportunity, man.
It's deja. It's 4 years later, in the biggest moment of your career, still winning a game in the Garden. Bro, you won a playoff series 4 years ago in the Garden, and you were supposed to take off, and now it's not. It's the same thing. That was 4 years later. The biggest moment of your career, still winning the game in the Garden.
It's another day, though, Bobby.
It's not. It's the same. Bobby. Trae Young is in Groundhog's Day.
Wow.
The biggest moment of your career can't be winning a game in the Garden all the time.
Do
something else.
Do something else. But it's another one, Bobby.
But it's not.
It's another day.
As a matter of fact, what did he do after he won that game in the Garden? He lost to the Bucks, didn't he?
He rolled dice, homeboy. He
rolled dice. He lost to the Bucks in the playoffs, didn't he? Am I right? Was that the year the Bucks won the championship?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that was it. Now
that's right. So, bro, Groundhog's Day all over again. Like, stop trying to make Trae Young something he's not. He's Ice Trae because he's cold against everybody except the Knicks.
5 dudes for Trae.
Huh?
5 dudes for Trae.
Okay. Shots fired.
Like, do something besides beat the Knicks at the Garden, please. Please.
So
obviously,
Bobby, Bobby, you're saying we should be more shocked by the Houston Rockets winning up against the Oklahoma City War. I mean, well, not the Oklahoma City War. The Golden State
were shocked in that sense either. But I told y'all, man, it was dangerous. But I just always, I'm always pull for the Hawks a little bit. But hey, man, it's another day, man. It's another Trae, man. 0 turnovers. 0.
Groundhog's Day.
Not with 0 turnovers.
It's hard to turn the ball over when you don't pass the ball until a man is wide open. He gets selfish assists. He ain't passing the ball unless you're wide open. Rajon Rondo made a career doing the same thing. What do you mean?
Hey,
if it's not a live pass, he's not passing it.
No Rondo accelerated.
Brooklyn style.
If it's not a live pass, he's not throwing it. He don't make anybody better.
Hey, he is this year.
No, he's not. Jalen Johnson got better on his own. Jalen Johnson is better than him right now.
Man, let him get it. Let him get his shine, man. 0 turnovers. I don't care how he did it. He got the turnovers, Bobby. You don't understand, man. I watched this man turnover.
Did you know what I'm saying is true? He doesn't pass the ball unless he can get an assist. It's hard to turn the ball over when you're not trying to make the right basketball play. It's easy to not turn the basketball over when you're being selfish.
That's just his style.
That's why they're only 14-12 and not 20-8.
Now, as we see here,
that's what happens when you roll the dice.
Look at this now. Look at this. So, unbeknownst to me, I thought he was top 5, but actually, Trae Young is leading the league in assists right now.
Yeah, because he got 220 assist games.
Wow.
How are you not?
I mean, come on.
He got 220 assist games against the Cavs because we couldn't guard the dunk spot, and he kept dropping it off to freaking Capella, Okongwu, and Jalen Johnson.
What?
Defend the dunk spot. You know what the dunk spot is, right?
Right there on the
yeah. That's all. He didn't create a single shot for anybody.
I get it. I mean, that should be an improved area, man. Where they should be getting nothing around there, right?
That's his whole career. His whole career is throwing lobs to the dunk. That's their entire offense. Pick and roll for Trae at the top of the key. Where's Clint Capella? Watch his whole career. Watch his whole career.
Okay, all right. I got you.
What you say, Big Ron?
Mobley was hurt.
Hey.
Mobley was hurt
tonight. Yeah, Mobley didn't play tonight.
That's what I figured.
Well, we still won.
No, I'm not talking about tonight. I'm talking about
against the Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played.
I mean, you said that area was. No, we can move on.
He's a shot blocker. He doesn't stay on his man. He went up. He stepped up to help on the pick and roll, which leads to dunk spot. That's the Hawks' entire offense until the playoffs. Then it gets shut down. Then it gets shut down. That's why Trae loses in the playoffs because his pick and roll don't work.
Man. It's another day. It's another opportunity.
Give him his props what? Because he's averaging empty stats.
Because he's taking advantage of another day and another opportunity, Bobby.
Groundhog's Day. The biggest moment of your career is winning a game in the Garden twice.
Great.
4 years later, your biggest moment is winning another game in the Garden.
And I'm looking at
wow. Oh joy.
Sometimes
I didn't even know. I didn't even know Cade Cunningham in Detroit was this far up the list. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we got LeBron up there always. CP3, we know he just broke the record. We're going to talk a little bit about him. And the Jokic at 2. Like, is he somehow going to lead the league in every statistical category this season? strive for another MVP? I have no idea, but that's crazy. So it sounds like the one that we should be more surprised about in the quarterfinals that took place would be the Rockets beating the Golden State Warriors. Because it sounds like both of y'all are saying we should expect this from Trae Young when he is in the Garden. We should expect
He's
one of
done
his
it before.
I mean, I ain't gonna say all that. I
He's
mean,
done. Has he done it before?
I'm just saying that he's taking advantage of another day and another opportunity. That's all. Hey, look, man, I'm trying to be like Trae Young right now, man. That's all I gotta say, man.
Oh, you go ahead. You be like Trae Young. I'll be like a playoff point guard.
Wow. Oh man.
Hey, but they not posting another day, another opportunity, man. Every day.
Every day.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, until I find somebody doing that, this is just gonna be Trae Young, man. Another day, this last season, another day, another opportunity. I've been saying it. You can keep going. You may miss me. I might go over your head, but I done said it every show. Another day, another opportunity, man. And Trae Young is taking advantage of it, man. No turnovers. I don't care. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care how he doing it.
2021, Trae Young played 16 playoff games.
Yeah, he have 16 turnovers a game.
He played in 11 since then.
Wow.
Look.
Wow.
Hey.
None last year.
All he needs is one day.
All he needs one day.
All Nas needed was one mic. Why can't Trae just get one day? Huh? Why Trae just can't get one day? I'm serious, like for real. Let's let him go, man. Let him live. Come on.
I'm letting him live. I'm being honest with the kid. That's how he's gonna improve.
We're gonna see.
Stop being selfish with the assists.
He's improved.
Stop trying to lead the league, bro. Average 8 or 9 assists. Spread the ball.
All right. So on top of that, let's look at the stats for the Hawks right here. I want to make a little noise right quick. I want to make a little noise. So we're gonna give a round of applause. We're gonna give a round of applause. I saw it in person. The other day, and I was like, "Yo, bro, my man is out here balling. Got 11 points, 15 rebounds. Come on, dog. 7 assists. Triple.
He was the best player on the court, wasn't he? When you were watching, he was the best player on the court, wasn't he?
He was live then, but I mean, with this 21,
Bobby. Come on, Bobby. Come on.
The man was there. Whit, what'd you see with your own eye? You were there. He was the best player on the court, wasn't he?
He looked really good. He looked really good that day because Trae Young wasn't as good against.
No, he was the best player on the court. Period.
But I'm saying, but with this man getting 21, 7 and 15, like we got to make some noise for Jalen Johnson. And of course, we got Clint Capella with his normal 13 and 11. Dyson Daniels. Big news, right? Onyeka Okongwu out here in the streets doing it big. DeAndre Hunter as well. And then we can't forget about our guy Risha Sher, who just pretty much played a lot of defense. In total, just got 2 points. But hey, look, we got to give the big Frenchman, a little bit of time to get used to the lights of New York. On the opposite end, for the New York Knicks, sad to say it wasn't their best showing, but somehow we got all 5 starters in double figures. We got Mikal Bridges with 19, OG Anunoby with 13, Big Cat 19 and 19 and 5 assists. Jalen Brunson with 14 and 8 assists, and then Josh Hart with 21 and 6. What I'm seeing here, guys, in this one particular, the Knicks miss White Dante. There's no scoring on the bench. Precious Ochiuwa could get some points, but he didn't get none that day. Campaign, I love Campaign. He's everybody's favorite secondary point guard. Only had 7. Miles McBride, I really like the spirit he comes into in the game, but for some odd reason, Miles McBride let them down. Only had 5 points of 2 of 8 shooting, and of course, I guarantee you, one of those 2 that he did hit was a 3-point shot, and he was 1 for 6 from 3. It was a debacle when the Knicks, who do have good outside shooting, don't recognize that it's an off night and take more shots inside of the 32 foot away from the basket mark. It blows me on that one. And then hey, we get at the end of that, something like that, we get Trae Young shooting dice, rolling dice. What do we
Now,
get?
how about that one, Bobby?
Big pause.
It's a
Big
difference.
pause.
No, I'm just saying you gotta look at what you know. What I'm saying there's a difference there. See that when you like what? No, I'm sorry. We taking
This level, but in the end, that's what we have when we end up with that type of performance from the Knicks, which is possible. All 5 starters out there in the streets doing well, but somehow, some way, no bench scoring, none. What? How do we come about the Knicks going to be? Who's the Knicks going to be if they play like that? Huh?
No, I gotta address Big Ron. You can't say that because in 2K I even had a Trae Young build. I was a fan of Trae Young, so you can't say that, sir. But then he started listening to the wrong people, playing like a knucklehead, and now we have the Trae Young that we see today.
What you mean? Why?
No, he knows.
I got you. Okay, can we go even further and say his dad was tripping? You know what I'm saying? I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, his dad was tripping, man. Like we had a little beef, and I say we had a little beef. And what I mean at the time, it was like a little Atlanta radio beef going on. He would not I guess I ain't gonna say let Trae talk to Atlanta radio, but there was a little stretch where Trae wasn't talking to local radio, and his dad somehow, they scrubbed the social medias and they blocked, the radio station and stuff. So yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, as we continue, we might as well take a look at the other game. So, of course, Golden State went right up and tried to figure out a way to get these young, athletic, energetic Rockets and put them into their place as they are the OGs of the West right now as we look at the standings. But somehow, some way, man, young boys figured it out. I'm looking at the points right now, and look at this. Check this out. So, regular game for just about everybody you can think of. Kuminga, 20. Steph, 19. Buddy Hield, 15. Uncle Draymond with 8 and 4. And some slight sprinkles in of the bench. I think for sure they were missing. They were missing. What's my guy? He was not playing over the weekend. That game looks like 1, 2. Yeah, Kevon Looney didn't even do anything. That's normally like where they get their magical 8, 9, 10 points from. Kevon Looney just being in the paint. And then when we look at the Houston Rockets, the young, agile Houston Rockets, they got Jabari Smith-Parker, who I actually like this game. I got a chance to watch it with 15 points. Dylan Brooks with 9, the bad guy. Shout out to him, the all-time heel. Alperen Sengun. I told y'all to keep an eye out for Sengun. 26 and 11. 8 from Freddie VanVleet with 7 assists. And Jalen Green with a mean 12, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And somewhere on the bench, we got Amin Thompson with 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 crucial steals. 1 steal, and then the other one goes to Aaron Holiday. Very crucial in that case. When I look at this man and I say that stuff out loud, are we more surprised about the ranking, or of the point score being scored by the Houston Rockets, or the minimization of the points being scored by the Golden State Warriors?
The latter. Yeah. Them not scoring no points. I mean, we should be looking at a team that can put up 120 easy. With what they were putting together. And when you put out that point total, and then you got to understand that Kuminga scoring 20 points, you pretty much slowing down the game in order for him to get touches and score, pretty much get featured in the offense. So unless he was playing, like full speed fast, should I say? It's one thing, but they're not playing at that speed when you're getting that guy, when you're getting touches. So, and then Draymond's 8 points, because at times he likes to make the defense honest by taking a shot here and there, or acting like he's going to try to take a shot. And that takes time. We all seen that. So yeah, the point total is gonna definitely be different unless Steph goes out there and starts putting up like 50 and 60 again.
That might be what he got to do, man. That's the way it looks, Bobby. When you saw the final point total for Golden State, were you more surprised about them not being able to keep up?
Nah, this game is about three things. One, it's kind of like Jay said. If Kuminga gives you a performance like that, and we spoke last week, and I told you, Kuminga, you want to get the bag, you got to show up, and this is an opportunity for you to prove that you deserve that bag. Hey, he showed up. Unfortunately, Kuminga's not the best player on the team. Steph Curry, where were you? Like, if you're going to get that kind of performance from your secondary player, then your leader has to show up. Like, if Pau Gasol is going to get at the Kobe, guess what? Kobe's going to show up and they're going to win that game. If Pippen is going to show up like that, Jordan's going to show up and they're going to win that game. Same thing. If D Wade is going to show up like that, LeBron is going to show up and they're going to win that game. Steph, where you at? The second thing is about it's not about the 8 points Draymond had. It's about the 26 Şengün had. Draymond, where you at? You are the defensive leader. You got to slow that down, bro. Like, you got to show that down, and you're not overmatched. You're not overmatched in this instance. This ain't Jokic you guarding. You should be able to push around Şengün. I mean, I know you're older and all, but bro, you just let that man eat on. He ate the whole plate and had some dessert. And the third thing is about refs. Hey, let the players handle it, man. The foul call, no, that's not the way that game should have ended. Let the players call a jump ball or give the Rockets the timeout. Let them inbound it. Let the players decide this game, man. That was too good of a game, too exciting of an ending to end. That shouldn't have ended on some free throws.
Oh man, well, great idea, bro. Because you pretty much pounced on the next question.
No, my bad.
No, it's cool. Ball foul. At the end of the game. Was it
funny? I'm sorry.
Right. You hit the nail on the head. Like, so, we know what it is. So, of course, just in case you were living under a rock, at the end of the game, as you can see, the point differential is just 1 point. The scramble on the ground just so happened to be captured right on camera. You can clearly see everybody on the Rockets bench going. I'm reading on the Rockets bench and Jalen Green on the ground going timeout, timeout, timeout. In that instance, I would have expected it because I was watching it live. I was expecting a jump ball just to make it competitive. Jay, as you and Bobby are both, experienced on the court. Would you more so want a jump ball in that occasion? That way the call doesn't negate, kind of end up being what turns the tide for another team.
Yeah, man. I mean, I live under a rock, unfortunately. So I caught on to, I saw the play and it was like you wanted to go ahead and go for the jump ball. It's a no-brainer to just go with the jump ball because you don't want it to end for one team. I could see if it was just a blatant, like somebody just, it wasn't that. It wasn't very aggressive. It wasn't enough for you to go one way or the other. So I would have went jump ball. Yeah, like letting it in like that, especially in this situation, these circumstances. Yeah, you let them play. Let them play.
Definitely. Of course, we pretty much, Bobby, you pretty much said the same thing. It's got to go jump ball. Calling a foul is out of the question, especially since it played into the winning and losing, right?
Yeah, but I just want to point out 3 things really went wrong on that play. One, I've always thought most people believe that Steph Curry shooting is the strongest attribute. I've never felt that his strongest attribute is his basketball IQ. He took a bad shot. He took that shot way too early. It was a 3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. If he shoots that ball 2 or 3 seconds left, just the flight of the ball is probably going to run the game out. The flight of the ball and then the fight for the rebound. They're going to get the rebound maybe 1 second left, 1.5 seconds left. So that's number one. Number two, I know he's a role player, but you still have to have awareness. Gary Payton should have called timeout on the floor when he got the ball. And the third thing that went wrong, Steve Kerr, like instead of standing there with your arms open, challenge the call. Give the refs a chance to recognize how this game should end. I mean, I'm sure most sports fans know it. I mean, everybody knows refereeing is tricky, and we know there are tricks in the trade, you extend game. You mean to tell me he calls a timeout to challenge that call because he still had it? He never used his challenge. And those refs go into that huddle, they're not going to say, hey, maybe we don't call this a foul. Maybe we call it a jump ball. Let the game finish. Give them the opportunity to recognize their mistake. So it was bad all around in that play.
I mean, straight up and down, man. I was like, that's definitely game over. As soon as I heard the whistle and everybody looking crazy, and then I realized, okay, of course they're going to assess this loose ball foul. Jalen's going to take 2 free throws. As a possibility, he misses one, makes the game, even, and we go into overtime. I wanted the game was such a back and forth. Of course, you want to win, but I would have been excited to see another period of basketball. But instead we got the 2 free throws. Golden State's unable to do anything from half court, quarter court. No Steph Curry, nothing like that. And then we pretty much got the semifinals solidified in our second annual inaugural season tournament. Well, not inaugural, but in-season tournament. I think it's pretty cool. It's still yet. I think it's one of those things where we should be definitely excited about what is to come now that the games coming up will be in Vegas. So Bobby G, get ready for some incredible traffic for about a week or so. And then
affecting nothing out here.
And then look at the matchup. So we got Bucks Hawks with a 1-3 matchup being played on the 14th, which is tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. So I'm gonna still be at work, I think. And then in the evening later on, we got Rockets Thunder being played at 8:30. And if I say Thunder too many times, there's only one thing that we gotta do next. And this gentleman just got finished doing another show. I believe he was on the show with our guy Sam doing On the Mat, talking a little wrestling. We might as well bring him on the show right about now. Big shouts out to our guy, LTS's Most Improved 2024 correspondent, Allen Peralez, ladies and gentlemen. Allen, what's going on?
Good evening, gentlemen. How we doing?
Allen.
Man, so Allen, bro.
Jay, you get your phone situation taken care of?
Uh-oh. What happened with Jay's phone?
He accidentally butt dialed me twice.
Oh. You're checking on you, making sure you were sleeping, getting some rest. That's probably what it was.
That's what I should have said.
And I appreciate it, by the way. I appreciate it. He's a good guy. Jay's a good guy. I appreciate it.
So, Allen, man, you know what? You are one of our favorite people to have on either one of the shows that we on. We're gonna let you do this. So you're already warm from talking wrestling. So what about a little OKC? So here you go, because we skipped it. We was waiting on you. Allen Soapbox. Do the OKC Thunder have what it takes to win the in-season tournament? And I'm gonna let you go at it, bro. There you go.
I mean, yeah, they do. They have the talent there. I love what we've seen from Hardenstein since he's come onto the team. I can't wait for Chet to come back because I think that adds a whole nother dynamic to what they can do defensively. but I like the run that they're going on right now. Shea's been playing great. I believe he's 30 points per game this season. If I'm not mistaken, he's like top 5 in that category. J-Dub's been playing great this year. They've been getting a lot of contributions from guys off the bench as well. Isaiah Joe is always fun to watch. Lou Dort's always fun to watch. I'm definitely going to have to go to a game later this year. But as far as the in-season tournament goes, I think they have a really good chance to put on a great performance in this round against the Rockets. But this Rockets team is not one to take lightly. They've vastly improved from what they were a season ago, and we saw what they were able to do, against Golden State in the first round. So, not trying to take this team lightly because anything can happen. But I do feel that with the teams that are left, you can say that Oklahoma City has a really good chance to go all the way and win this thing. So I'm not taking any team lightly because, again, Rockets are a good young team. They've improved a lot. Milwaukee's kind of found their stride a little bit in the East. The Knicks are the Knicks. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out in the end. So, the Hawks too. The Hawks too are going to be a tough out either way. You're on mute, Whit.
Wow. Yeah. So I was talking to kids at the same time. Yeah. So most definitely, what's going on is, right now with the semifinals, these are all 1-game eliminations. So it's just Bucks, Hawks, and Thunder Rockets, and you got you guys ready at 8:30 tomorrow. And I believe it's 8:30 Eastern. So that's pretty much evening time for you guys to be able to watch it over there on the West Coast, Bobby and Allen. And I agree. I'm actually in agreement with you. Although the Rockets can do no wrong when playing in this situation because they weren't expected to make it this far. They are playing up because the Thunder team is much it has visibly more talent. I'm not saying that the Rockets.
I will say this: you can see it in the comparison with the teams between the Knicks and the Thunder. The Knicks are missing Hartenstein, I feel. In a way, they're still missing Isaiah Hartenstein for what he was able to contribute with them last year. For sure. And what he's done so far since coming into the lineup, kind of replacing Chet in a way. Not really replacing Chet, but coming back at a time where they needed him to come back. He's made a big difference since coming back. I think he could be the big difference in us potentially winning this NBA Cup.
I'm looking at him as possible most improved player candidate. Hey Jay, check this out. Oh man, we missed it. Jay, guess who was watching the show on Instagram? Don't forget to follow me on IG. That's your boy KWhit. That's YABOY KWhit on IG. Guess who's watching us on Instagram, Jay?
Tell me. I mean,
the OG of film in the NBA was in the room. I'm looking at it right now. It's a Scott Cunningham film. Big shouts out to Scott Cunningham. 48 years of taking pictures of Atlanta Hawks. I wonder if Scott going to Vegas. I'm pretty sure he is. Ain't no way he ain't going. I know they got him a nice comp suite because he been doing it so long.
Wouldn't that be an interesting final? I know the Bucks are favored in that game, but wouldn't that be an interesting final? Trae Young, a former Oklahoma Sooner, against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I'm
just saying, stories like that write itself.
Hey,
there was at one point there was talks that the Thunder might have traded up to try to get Trae Young. So
wow,
Allen, you know what? Another day. Another opportunity.
Sure enough, is another day, another opportunity. We're not gonna get into the too early predictions right now. I'm excited to see what happens with the in-season tournament semifinal games tomorrow. So make sure you tuned in on TNT and TBS at 4:30 and 8:30. And we'll be back to, of course, discuss the finish of all of this, the second annual in-season tournament, and I'm really excited to see who's going to end up in that final. Quick, guys, one at a time. Finals prediction. Who you think?
I just said it. I think it's going to be OKC in Atlanta.
OKC Atlanta. I like it.
Bucks Thunder.
Bucks Thunder.
Hey, Bobby, look. Can we put a bet on this, man?
Woo! Oh boy!
I'm feeling lucky, man. With these, we gotta do like a bet for real, man. Because
I don't know where that button came from, but I had to touch it. Where are we going with this? Where we go?
I'm not going to let you do yourself like that because you're not even confident. Look at what you said. I'm feeling lucky. If you're confident, you don't feel lucky. If you're confident, you don't feel lucky.
Hey, another day. I got another look. Look, I'm going with Hawks and Thunder.
Wow, Hawks Thunder.
Speaking of betting, watch Lock It In tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no, yeah.
There you go.
Definitely.
RecRoom Sports premiere of Lock It In with Allen Peralez, Tanner Dawson, Uncle Scott Cole. I gotta wake him up so he can do his thing. Oh man, I can't wait.
You gotta call the nurses first to wake him up.
Right? We gotta get him up. So yeah, make sure you check out Lock It In tomorrow morning. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. I like the surprise that is the Atlanta Hawks, and I'm looking forward to seeing Hawks Thunder myself, man. I gotta rock with it.
I will say, don't be surprised if Houston does win, though. They got a good enough young talent to pull off an upset. So
I think the main thing is the Bucks. The Bucks don't seem to have that consistent way to win like they used to. Every once in a while they look just a little too herky jerky for me. And I think Jay put the Damian Lillard doll. He's been stabbing him in the hand in the corner of his room for like a while. This is the past since he got traded from Portland. So I think it's actually working. Exactly, man. Exactly. Oh man. So man, fellas. So recently, as we move on, right? There's been a change of the guard in the NBA, man. A changing of the guard, and it's crazy how. I've been watching the game for a while. Bobby J, I know you've been watching the game for a while. Allen as well. It's crazy how records are being broken every day. Last season, we saw LeBron become the eternal points leader in the NBA. This season, last week, we talked about Russ getting his 200 triple-double and, James Harden creeping up the ladder for 3 points. This week, we had one of the best to ever lace them up become second all time in assists. And I'm talking about none other than CP3. So breaking news. Got to say it out loud like this. Chris Paul, second all time in assists. So somehow, some way, Chris Paul has been in the league longer than I can even remember. Every once in a while I look up and I forget that Chris Paul has really been in the league about 20 years, I feel like. And right now, it's crazy to say that he is now second all time in assists. All time. But and we're going to get into what my second part of this is, even though he's second all time, he still somehow finds a way to get disrespected in the all-time list of point guards. I don't get it. I really don't. But I can understand where we get it from. But when we talk about all-time great point guards, we name all kinds of point guards. Magic and Oscar and Jason Kidd and but don't nobody say CP3 right off the bat. As we all have watched Chris Paul over the years, does he get enough respect for what he's done thus far in the league, or is it just kind of one of those things where he gets left out because of his playoff predicament these past few years?
I think it mostly gets left out because of his playoff success. Because anytime you've seen Chris Paul in a playoff scenario, he just kind of disappears. Whether it was in LA with the Clippers, whether it was, in Golden State last year, even the one time he made it with Oklahoma City, just kind of was okay. For the most part, New Orleans, even you could throw that in there as well. One of the best to do it. I mean, right? One of the best point guards in the NBA. But again, like we mentioned, the one reason why he's not talked up there with some of the greats all time is because 0 rings, 0 playoff success. And that's ultimately what it ends up being about in the later scheme of things. I know some guys usually get the recognition and they have 0 playoff success, but in a day and age where that's all people care about is playoff success, gotta go get that ring if you want to get that recognition nowadays. So,
man, sad. Jay, man, I see you pointing at your hand down there, man. Talking, is the ring talk is the issue when it comes to CP3, man? What you think it is that just has him in a league of his own, but still not in the same league as some of the best point guards we've seen in the league?
I mean, he's getting in. He's definitely getting in, but
for sure,
that ring is, that ring, it's elusive to him, man. It's just he's just one of those guys. Sad to say, he's just one of those guys. I would say this day and age, there have been some nice point guards. We can go Kyrie, we can go as far as scores are concerned, there aren't quite too many other than Steph, Kyrie. There aren't too many. So it kind of sucks, man, with somebody of his talent kind of diminish along the years. I'm not trying to play him as some type of, scab of himself or anything, but he then he started, thrusting himself into these teams that he could have really did what he's doing now some years ago and probably got a ring by now. Instead, he wanted to go, where he thought it was at. The James Harden, the Clippers thing. I say after Blake, and they started, tinkering and doing some things, and then pretty much, Allen can identify with this, the Shea trade, pretty much in the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a waste, man. Like the whole Clippers thing after a while was a waste, and then he started putting himself on certain teams. But man, no doubt Hall of Famer. It just sucks. He's just one of those players, man. Right now, to not have a ring, and he's unfortunately right now that doesn't have a ring. I'm not gonna say he's never gonna get one, but don't look too good.
You see a lot of his impact made off the court most times, especially early on in his career. Because remember, he was a rookie in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, and they had to move to Oklahoma City for 2 years. So he was a huge impact for not just the city of New Orleans, but Oklahoma City as well, in the fact that, a couple years later after that, after they moved back, we ended up getting an NBA team out of it. So, kudos to Chris Paul for what he's done off the court. But again, it's like we've said, numbers say one thing, rings say another. So,
definitely. Bobby, man, when you take a look at Chris Paul and his overall prowess in the NBA, like what do you think is holding him back from being held up there in the highest esteems of the best point guards to ever lace him up in the NBA?
Well, let me give you my first. I think this will be my first Stephen A. moment of the new season.
Oh, Lord.
Allen and Jay, you're both wrong, and here's why. First, let me kill this bird. I find it very ironic that Jay said there aren't too many scoring point guards and neglected to mention his boy Trae Young, who he just defended, who averages almost 30 points a game. I just find that ironic. I just find that ironic that you said that. Yes, your words just now, just a couple minutes ago. We want to play it back. There are not too many scoring point guards in the league, and you forgot to mention your boy, who almost averages 30 points a game, just to show you how trash he is.
This man's body of work.
Let me get back to the point at hand. You're both wrong, and here's why. Chris Paul doesn't get recognized for the simple. It has nothing to do with the ring. People don't like Chris Paul. That's why he doesn't get mentioned. People don't like. I didn't say I don't like. People don't like Chris Paul.
Word on the street.
You don't believe me? I'll give you another example. One of the greatest point guards to ever play, who does have rings, who does have a Finals MVP. Isaiah Thomas doesn't get his due respect. Why? People don't like Isaiah Thomas.
I don't know why, neither. I don't know why. Go ahead, continue.
Man,
like it has nothing to do with it. You know what? We loved Chris Paul when we heard of him coming out of high school. His grandfather passed away, and he paid his respects by scoring 63 points in the game, missing the free throw on purpose so he didn't go over that point. We loved him. Then he went to college, and he kicked somebody in the balls, and people started to hate Chris Paul. Then he came to the NBA, and he kicked more people in the balls, and people started to hate Chris Paul even more.
That's kicking the balls
in college. Who were they playing? Wake Forest, I believe it was NC State. Who was the best player? Hodges. Yes. Wow. Go back and look. He hit. He was the best player on NC State. What was his name?
You talking about
something Hodges? It's Hodges.
Man, you talking about
small forward.
I know you're talking about.
Yes. He hit him. Yeah, he hit him in the balls in college, and people were like, "Wow, that was dirty." But maybe it was, maybe that was and then he brought that behavior to the NBA. And then you hear the stories. He's just not a personable dude. We all remember how the Lob City phenomenon got traded because Blake Griffin heard he got traded to the Clippers and he said, "Ooh, Lob City." But what happened? Blake Griffin started hating Chris Paul.
Wow.
People don't like Chris Paul. Therefore, they will never give him the credit he's just due. He'll never be on anybody's. He may be on the top 5, but he'll never be the top 3. It will always be Magic, Stockton, and or some people will give Isaiah his credit in that. Some people will go with a Nash or a Kidd, but it'll never be Chris Paul because people don't like Chris Paul.
Wow.
That's just the facts. Like,
I mean, I'm not talking about. Look, I wouldn't even throw Trae Young in the same category as a Chris Paul because Trae Young ain't even right now.
People don't like Trae Young,
but
that is true. People do not like Trae Young,
but that's different. Trae Young,
it's not different.
Yes,
Trae Young will never get mentioned among the best point guards. Think about this. The Jewish community almost had Kyrie Irving canceled, and you still mention Kyrie Irving because you like Kyrie.
The boy.
No. He won a ring.
Kyrie has one of the he's one of the most electrifying point guards to ever play the game, and his scoring he's never averaged more than 25 points a game.
No,
never.
But
never.
Before your boy came
before LeBron, he was averaging 22 and 21 points a game. He's never averaged more than 25 a game.
No, but come on.
But we like Kyrie Irving. People don't like Chris Paul. So what? People rate Steve Nash as one of the best, right? No ring.
Wow.
Why? They like Steve Nash.
Let's see who
they always
first.
They all getting in the Hall of Fame. It don't matter first, second. They all get in the Hall of Fame.
But who you think will get
That's
in
not
first?
the question. Your question is why don't people mention them? It doesn't matter when they get it. People will always bring up John Stockton. No ring.
Well, I don't mention him. Well, see, he got the assist lead though.
So He'll still always be called one of the greatest point guards ever. No ring. No ring. Okay, what about Nash? What about Nash? What about Nash? People will always talk about Derrick Rose before Chris Paul. No ring.
But
no ring.
Like Steve Nash, total body of work.
People will talk about Westbrook. No ring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People don't like Chris Paul, bro.
I think some of these guys that you're naming, like, really some of these guys hasn't quite had a body of work as Chris Paul without the ring. That's all I'm saying. Like a Trae Young, I wouldn't dare, even mention because he hasn't even been in the amount.
I ain't even talking about him.
The amount of times he's been in the All-Star game. So,
right, but it's because people don't like Chris Paul. That's why they won't mention him. He's out of their memory because they don't like him. We only reserve space in our brain for people we like or people we extremely hate. And people don't extremely hate Chris Paul. They just don't like him.
I think he should have took on his own team.
He had his own team. He took Baron Davis' spot. What do you mean?
Yeah, but I mean, as far as his career is concerned, that's not what his MO is. So,
and what he literally, Allen just told you, he's the reason they have a basketball team in Oklahoma City. What more can you do? He birthed a team.
Right.
People don't like the dude, man.
Only in few select cities do they like Chris Paul.
Yeah, and I just think he would have did a little better for his name if he actually took on his own team instead of hopping around like everybody else.
He'd have been better for himself if he wasn't an asshole.
Look what he's doing now. That's why I said, like, if he was doing what he's doing now and just like kept it that way, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. When it was him and David West, people liked him a little bit more. He was CP3 back then. People was, CPing him up. But,
then he started kicking people in the balls.
Yeah, you found another young big guy to play around other than David West.
And
think about this. He got replaced by Jake from State Farm.
Wow, man, he got replaced by himself.
He got replaced by Jake from State Farm.
Paul came out there, man.
Cliff, man, you got replaced by Cliff Paul. What are you talking about, man?
And not even the black cool Jake. He got replaced by the original white Jake from State Farm.
He got replaced by Cliff Paul, man.
Cliff Paul. They both got canceled.
Wow. What I'm saying, it's still him though.
And as a matter of fact, in his last commercial that he ever did for State Farm, he got replaced by a cardboard cutout.
But it's Cliff.
People don't like this dude.
Wow.
Come on, man. He had a whole campaign. You know what I'm saying? He had a whole campaign.
Man, you're taking me back with the David West comment. I'm like, I remember that team. Chris Paul, David West, Tyson Chandler. That was a fun team.
Yeah, Peja,
yeah. That was
you can't even count that, dude. He was on the team, man. He was on the team.
David West, India, and then the Indiana.
That could have been a good squad.
If people like Chris Paul more, he would get mentioned more.
Listen, and this we're gonna move on to the next part with this one, because I love this debate, because in reality, I think all of you are right partially. Chris Paul should have been doing what he's doing now, Jay, earlier in his career. Allen, you're correct. Yeah, he does. He helped birth basketball in Oklahoma City. And Bobby, I personally have had spirited conversations in like an airport. I think I was in an airport one time, and then another time in like a bus terminal with a guy who did travel basketball, and to hear him talk about Chris Paul at that time. Chris Paul was playing for the Clippers. That trade was slightly fresh. I was on my way to Virginia. I was on my way to Virginia, to Hampton, Virginia. Spent time with my grandfather, and a gentleman who was into travel ball at that time was having a hard down conversation about how great Chris Paul was. But the idea was he had a mentality very similar to someone would have contributed to a Kobe-esque mentality. You know what I'm saying? But because Kobe played a position in which being self-centered is a possibility, playing the point guard and being that type of a dog of a teammate. Let's say
Paul's Kyle Watson,
yo, they would.
Nah, but the difference was Kobe embraced it.
Kobe
completely embraced. He came out Mamba mentality. Yeah, I'm selfish, and what?
And I think that was the thing that me and the gentleman, another gentleman, like we was 4 or 5 deep having this conversation in the bus terminal, and his point was the reason why they wanted the original trade was because when Chris Paul and Kobe finally got around each other in one of those All-Star games, and he saw that they were similar, and Kobe doesn't like anybody, that is when the Lakers tried to make that trade a possibility. But, shout out to David Stern, who is no longer with us. He said, nah, y'all ain't going to do that, man. We're going to send him anywhere but to L.A. And, of course, the story would be that, with that trade and Andrew Bynum, who was playing well at that time, and Kobe Bryant and Chris Paul, that would have been an easy 2 championships. But somehow, some way, Andrew Bynum discovered white women and people in Japan and found his way to I think he was in Japan last, but it never worked out, and then they sent Chris Paul to the Clippers instead. I'm on that same side, Bobby. I feel like he's and I've heard several commentators say the same thing. He is one of one when it comes to point guards and the way that he participates with teammates. If you can't really get down with how he is, it rubs people the wrong way. But we cannot look at Chris Paul's resume and say that he did not turn or contribute to some turnarounds for several teams. Okay. The Phoenix Suns were almost there. The Phoenix Suns were almost there. The LA Clippers almost there. Almost. But it's unfortunate that Houston. Okay, let's throw it out there.
I was gonna say who mentored SGA when he first got to Oklahoma City? Chris Paul.
Yeah, Chris Paul. Let's think about it. Chris Paul in Houston, Chris Paul in LA, Chris Paul in Phoenix. 3 times where they were less than 2 games away from being in the NBA Finals, where he became injured. 3. And it was, and every time it was at detrimental moments when Chris Paul was either the leading scorer on the team or the leading scorer in that playoff series. We know how good he was in that clip with that Clippers lineup. Never looked the same.
I was going to say before this year, the last point guard the Suns had was Chris Paul, Chris Paul 4 years ago.
And then nobody thought anything about the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? Mm. And then insert Chris Paul, playoff team.
I was saying nobody, even with Chris Paul here, nobody thought we were going to be a playoff team.
Yeah,
they thought
it's supposed to win like 30 games.
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, this is just a young, not ready to win Thunder team. Chris Paul's going to get traded mid-trade deadline, to a contender, all that good stuff." But then, he's like, I'm going to stay here, help this young team build.
Insert Chris Paul / insert dog mentality and hit the enter key. See what happens. And that's exactly what they did. And then at the same time, I feel as though this is also the evolutionary moment for that they want to impose on Victor Wembanyama, which is why he is playing in San Antonio. They want to insert Chris Paul, to insert dog mentality, hit Control Alt Delete on whatever was going on with you prior to now, and let's see how Chris Paul does it. So big shouts out to Chris Paul, going in second all time in assists. And now, since we had that spirited debate, y'all know what it is, man. We're going to play a little quick game, man, real quick, because we're on the top of that second hour. Don't forget, man, we are the In the Hoop team right now with LTS. That's right, Let's Talk Sports. I'm your boy, KWhit, your mama's #1 draft pick. This is, we got Jay on the MIC right there. Shout out to Jay. We got Audible Bobby G and Allen Peralez once again in the building. We're going to do a little quick game, man. The Chris Paul, the CP3 Quickie edition. Pause. So Just like we did before. We're gonna do which is which. All right, fellas. So which season did Chris Paul win the All-Star game MVP? Which season? And I'll give y'all a hint. It's after 2010.
13.
Jake?
12.
Allen, you got one? Got a guess? Wild guess?
15.
All right, Bobby gets it right with 13. All right, he was the 2013 MVP. He looked real crazy out there. Chris Paul had 20, 15, 4, and that was
What we do if I would have guessed it right? Hold on, you got more questions?
Yeah, I got like a couple of just a couple.
Oh, dang.
This is all right. This is when he did the dribbling between Chris Bosh's legs, and he did the ultimate nutmeg down the court. I just was watching those highlights before we got on the air, so I had to go look it up. Okay, next for Chris Paul, right? Here we go. I thought this was a good one, right? How many times in his career has Chris Paul made the playoffs? It's a long career, boys. Long career.
Has he been at 19?
19 years since 2005.
Of course, everybody can go there right now. So do what you know.
I'm gonna say 7.
I'm gonna say 14.
I'm gonna say 11.
All right, everybody's wrong because it was 15 times that he's been in the
Closest.
That was close. You were close though. You was the closest. Okay, and then last but not least, what draft pick and what year was Chris Paul drafted?
Oh, 4 and 05.
Oh, okay.
That's easy.
Yeah, well, okay. I'll go ahead and give y'all that one, man. Yeah, of course, everybody knows that one. Easy, real quick, like,
To the right of them, to the left of them, in front of them, volley and thunder.
Somehow, some way, everybody knew that one. Of course, Chris Paul.
You want a real question? Who was the number one pick in that draft?
In 05?
Oh, man.
Okay.
You know, I mean, Bobby Bushy.
You say Bobby Boucher. I'll edit the question for Jay. Jay, who was the second pick in that draft?
Oh, wow. I think he's probably was it whatchamacallit? That's why you're saying it. What's my guy? Greg Oden? Was it Greg Oden?
No.
Oh,
that was the year after, wasn't it?
That was not in the Kevin Durant draft.
Oh, okay.
Who was the second pick?
So for Whit and Allen is who was the first pick. For Jay, who was the second? It's one of your favorites.
First pick, God, dog. Who was first? I'm trying not to. I'm not googling it either. I'm thinking. Okay, was it not an American player?
Correct.
Dang. I thought
Not an American player.
I thought you was gonna tell me no. I don't know that.
You talking about my guy?
No, your guy is American.
Right. Well, he got traded though.
Did he got traded on draft night?
Mm-hmm.
Incorrect.
Wait a minute.
2005 number 1 overall pick.
Nah, man.
He said,
who's number 1? Like Atlanta or something?
What team? Milwaukee had the number 1 pick that year.
It's Andrew Bogut then. That's the only one. That's the only one that makes sense. That's the only one that makes sense. Andrew Bogut got to be. He Australian.
What's your guess, Allen?
Andrew Bogut.
It was Australian. Yeah, that was the year.
Yeah. It's starting to come back to me. It's starting to come back to me now.
Wait, that's the only.
It was because Andrew Bogut was the big thing coming out of college that year.
Yep.
In
Yep.
05?
Yeah, that's correct. Andrew Bogut was the number 1 pick.
When he was balling in Utah or something, right? When in Utah?
Damn, let's see.
Yeah, he was at Utah.
Yeah, there was a
Who,
lot of
Andrew
talk about
Bogut?
Andrew Bogut back
So you
then.
go. Andrew Bogut was the number 1 pick. Who was number 2, Jay?
You talking about Utah? 05?
Yep.
Okay,
He was a UNC player.
Oh, you say I won't tell it. I just pulled it up.
Nah, man. Nah, forget that dude, man. I just brought him up.
Yeah, you did.
Didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Good.
Marvin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yo,
You know what? The light, man. I got one of these guys in my joint too. I got him in my joint.
Damn. Damn. Are you serious though? Damn,
Yeah,
Andrew
he's number 2
Bogut
pick.
was in
He's picked
05?
over Chris Paul. Yeah.
Big shouts out to Hakeem Warwick down here at 19.
I feel like Andrew Bogut was from the 90s. I don't know why I feel. I mean, he was on that team that first, Warriors run. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much on his way out.
Yeah. Bogut was drafted because they thought he was their next big man in Milwaukee, and then he ended up in Golden State.
He was good until he got his nose broke, and then he had to go get eye surgery because he couldn't see the rim. He still was.
I mean, yeah, he's pretty productive in Golden State.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bobby's point of nobody liking Chris Paul, he just got ejected in the Blazers game tonight.
Oh,
I'm looking at that. Yeah.
Oh man.
Not even the officials like Chris Paul.
Everybody hates Chris. It's just what's really going on right now, dog. That's what's really going on.
In the third quarter, with like time left, like that's crazy. I can see in the fourth quarter is the time you would want to get ejected, not the third quarter. Like,
he just tired of playing, man. He just need a day off. That's all.
He needs plenty of them.
He's sick.
Where's the game at? San Antonio or Portland?
No, I said
Portland. Tied at 72 third quarter.
So they got some good restaurants up there. Maybe you want to get a head start.
You want to show everybody what you got going on.
They definitely have some good restaurants out there.
All right, fellas. So you know how we do, right? We're going to go ahead and keep it moving. We're going to go ahead and do something I think is fun. We're going to have our last couple minutes of the show. We're going to do what we've been doing. We're going to highlight a division, and we're going to rock it out. So this time we're going to do the Southeast Division, okay? And of course, I think these this kind of goes with the theme today. We're going to go boop. Scrap that one, and then we're gonna go here and do that. Yep, there we go. So now, as we look at the Southeast Division, we got the Hornets, the Miami Heat, the Atlanta Hawks, the Orlando Magic, and the Washington Wizards. Wow. Okay. So this is one of the divisions where it looked like a little something. You know what I'm saying? It looked like a little something. Where, of course, now we got the Atlanta Hawks going into the semifinals of the in-season tournament. But then there's a little bit of a it's a little bit of a shakeup when you got the Hornets, the Heat, the Magic, and the Washington Wizards. So we're gonna do like we always do, man. We're gonna go fast with these last couple. And we're gonna start it off, man. Best and worst team in the Southeast Division. Nothing too hard. Who's the best team? Who's the worst team? We're going to start off with Allen. Go.
If they get their act together, Miami's the best team in this division. I like Orlando. I like the young team that they have. But if Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo is Bam Adebayo, Miami's the best team in this division for sure. Worst team right now. They only have 3 wins, and they're the worst team in all of the NBA. It's the Washington Wizards.
Wow, what? The Washington Wizards?
So, yeah, it's crazy because it's like, you would think Charlotte's the first thing you think about, but no, Washington's having a way worse season than what Charlotte is by at least 4 games. So, yeah, so that would be my pick. Would be Miami's probably the best if they get their act together, and Washington's definitely the worst. They're the worst team in the NBA right now.
You can't knock you on that one. Bobby, man, best and worst team in the Southeast Division.
You're on mute.
My bad. Yeah, Allen's spot on. The Wizards are the worst team in basketball, so that's just is what it is. The best team in the division is the Magic. When they're healthy, that's just Paolo. He's becoming a superstar. Too much turmoil going on in Miami. I think Jimmy will be gone by the trade deadline.
Whoa. Miami, that's a tough hit to the Miami franchise right there. Jay, man, you know how you get down. What you thinking? Best and worst teams, bro.
With 3 of these teams in this division and like the bottom half of the Eastern Conference, and I mean like right behind another, they can either be the Heat. No, excuse me. No, 2 of these teams. Sorry. It could either be the Heat, Hawks, or the Magic. God bless the Hornets, the people who show up to go to work for the Hornets and the Wizards every day because it's a waste. But man, I'm gonna go with the Hawks, man. Because right now, man, they have what the hell was that? My fault.
That was the applause button. That was the applause.
It didn't sound like that over here. I didn't know what that was, yo. I was like, man, what the hell happened to my mic, my ear? Hey, all right. So the Hawks, man. I just think, man, that right now the jury's still out, but I think this team, they're playing. I had a stat pulled up. They're pretty much playing a high percentage of the top tier teams in the league, and they're playing like winning like 30% of their games against the worst teams in the league. So they have to get that together. I don't know how this is happening, but man, right now, like I want to say the Magic, the Heat, they too busy arguing over rebounds. I'm good. I'm gonna go with the Hawks. I'm gonna have to go with the Hawks, man. Like the Magic, if my boy was back, and I don't mean my boy in the sense of I don't mess with no Duke players, but Paolo was back, I would say possibly the Magic. But their veteran leadership or their veteran help is not necessarily like the type of veteran help that you would be looking for. Like the Wagner brothers are cool, but they wasn't expecting what they're getting out of them right now. So I don't know, man. The Hawks have a chance to get that. Sorry for that long answer. So
nah, man.
Here's a stat that kind of helps with Jay's point here. Actually, looking this up, versus 500 teams or above right now. The Magic are 4-7. The Heat are 5-7. The Hawks are 8-6 against teams above 500. Whereas teams below 500, the Magic are 13-3. Heat are 8-3, and the Hawks are 6-6. The Hawks are also 7-6 on the road and 7-6 at home.
Here's a stat that doesn't agree with Jay. The Magic are in first place. The end.
Hey, I still think it's the Hawks, man. We have to see, man. Like we will see.
And listen, I'm going to go out on a limb and not just say just because but the eye test sometimes is what gets me. So I'm honestly gonna roll with the Hawks on this one. Seriously, the Hawks look really good, and I can't imagine when Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, and they slide in a budding Zachary Richard in there. That's going to be a team to be dealing with like something as tough as Paolo Banchero. Unfortunately, it looks like the Jimmy Butler Heedle saga is going to come to an end. He did put out a list of teams that he would to be traded to lift his no trade clause. And once you do something like that, it's only a matter of time until they figure out a way to get you to where you want to go. And in my opinion, Pat Riley ain't gonna put you in the best position. He might put you in the second or third best position, especially if it's one that will help the Heat rebuild going forward. All right, fellas. So the next one, you know how we do. We did worst and best. Who is the most exciting player to watch in the Southeast Division? Now, there's some names out there, but I mean, we're not talking about, as in terms of wins and losses. Like, who is box office in the Southeast Division? Like, you'll pay the money to go watch them play and get a beer and be stuck in your seat and be waiting for their next move. When it comes to the Southeast Division, we'll start with Jay. Who are you watching first?
I'm gonna say my guy from the Hornets right now, Brandon. I feel like he, an exciting player to watch, man. If you just want to watch a little exciting young player jump out the gym, a little something.
Oh, yeah, he jumped in too.
Yeah, I'll go with Brandon. But other than that, I'll definitely say Paulo. Like I said, this is right now. So right now, I'm gonna go with Brandon. Is it Brandon White, y'all? Brandon Wright, Brandon
Miller.
Brandon Miller.
B Mill. Yeah.
So, but if Paulo was healthy, back all the way healthy, I would say it'd be Paulo because I still haven't seen him play in person. So he would easily be that if he was healthy.
Got you. Yeah, Bobby, most exciting player, Southeast Division.
It's absolutely Paulo. Yeah, he's the only person in that division I'm turned on the TV for. I do agree with Jay though. Brandon Miller, he's finding himself. Yeah, as soon as they get rid of the clown show point guard, he'll be able to do some things. I also find it once again ironic that it's another opportunity to hype your boy Trey up and you chose not to. But yes, it's Paulo.
I'm seeing Trey's not exciting to me.
No, it's because he's exactly because he's trash.
Nah, I'm just moving on to the next guy.
Nah, because he's trash.
He's trash. Wait, I'm gonna ask you a question. About what you saw in the game that you
who you got, Allen? He's trash. You can't you're trash.
It was
not trash. Stop hating on him, man. Because you want Garland to do what Trey. Yeah, you do.
No, the most exciting is the most exciting. You've seen Kobe too, but he still be the most exciting player. He's trash. You moved on because he was trash.
Well,
Alan, what you got, man?
He's not trash.
It's Paulo. It's Paulo. He's the next big superstar in that division. So it's Paulo Banchero for me.
I feel you. I'm gonna rock out, man. I'm going to rock out. I was really shocked by this just to see Jalen Johnson, to be real with you, man, because I was not expecting him to be that good. He looked really good when I saw him in person against the Denver Nuggets. And like we saw from the stat line, he got 21 points the other night against a really good Knicks team. So I'm thinking, Trae Young, yeah. LaMelo, of course, LaMelo. I saw shout out to Big Ron who came back in the building. LaMelo, yeah, he'd be excited. I think him and Brandon Miller got like a good 1-2, but of course they got to work on that defensive possessions and all of that. And somehow we got to just completely X-nay on the Washington A right now. But straight up, Brandon Miller is up here doing his thing. I got to give him some props. These last couple highlight reel dunks he's been getting, like that's definitely he's definitely been doing his thing. But right now, Jalen Johnson exciting to me because maybe it's because I haven't seen him. I didn't expect it. Moving on. So how we do a little early prediction. Maybe showing a little bit of love for all these low bottom teams because like we mentioned, they kind of on the bottom half of the Eastern Conference. Don't be surprised if insert team and circumstance here. So this is just throw it against the wall and see what comes down with it. So yeah, Allen, man, don't be surprised if
pending if Paulo stays healthy the rest of the year when he comes back, don't be surprised if the Orlando Magic try to make a run at the Eastern Conference Finals.
Wow. Whoa. That is definitely a good one. Bobby, man, don't be surprised if.
Well, hold on, got a little breaking. The Heat traded your boy.
What boy? Jimmy Butler?
Nah.
Oh.
They traded Thomas Bryant to the Pacers.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm about to say, I know they ain't trade G Herbo or whatever his name is.
don't be surprised if De'Aaron Fox gets traded.
Oh wow, yeah, you did mention that. Don't be surprised if De'Aaron Fox gets traded to Orlando.
I'm not saying where, but just before the deadline or around the deadline.
I got you. What about but in the Southeast Division? No.
Oh, in the Southeast Division, don't be surprised if Jordan Poole gets traded.
Wow. Oh. All that time, all that noise they made for Jordan Poole in Washington. That's crazy. That big check. Watch him get up out of there. I like that one. Who know? And they he gonna get a bag somewhere. He's still good. Jay, don't be surprised if.
I really thought about this one, guys, and I would say don't be surprised if. Ooh. Okay. Don't be surprised if Bilal Coulibaly ends up becoming a bigger star for the Wizards than Alexander Sarr. Excuse me. Coulibaly tonight finished with 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 dimes, 2 blocks, and 5 3-pointers. First 25-5-5 game of his career.
I like it.
Don't be surprised if Bilal Coulibaly ends up being the bigger star than Sarr.
I like it. And for me, man, I gotta go along with something that Bobby said earlier. Don't be surprised if Jimmy Butler does not end the season with the Miami Heat. I feel like Jimmy Butler hasn't worn out his welcome in Miami, but I feel like every once in a while Jimmy Butler comes to the end of a road with a team. He came to the end of the road with Minnesota. He came to the end of the road with Philly. He's currently in Miami. I think one of the teams that was on his possibility to lift his no trade clause was the Houston Rockets. Can you imagine if Pat Riley said, well, hey, give me some of that young talent you guys got, and you can get this veteran talent guy. You guys are going to be 7th, 8th, 9th in the Western Conference. Let's see if, how we uplift, the team by inserting Jimmy Butler and maybe, one of the bench players, possibly to serve the other Jokic. Not Jokic, but Jokic, the young guy. Maybe they put him alongside Alperen Şengün and insert Jimmy Butler, and they give away some bodies to Miami to make the team younger. I think that is really possible. And, of course, Jimmy Butler going to a Texas team turns the city on its ear because, Jimmy Butler being a Texas boy, I think that'd be a big deal. So don't be surprised if Jimmy Butler does not end the season in a Miami Heat uniform. Oh, man. Fellas, man, we doing pretty good. Right now, of course, it is the Let's Talk Sports in the Hoop Show. I'm your host, your boy KWhit, your mama's #1 draft pick. We got Jada MIC down there. We got Audible Bobby G and Allen Peralez. We're coming to the end of the show. We're getting right to where I wanted to get to, because right now we are at the end where we do our buzzer beater for the night. And I just wanted to throw this graphic up there just because top 3 all-time assist leaders, man. One of the most feared white men ever to lace them up on a basketball court. right there at number 1. We got John Stockton. We got CP3, Chris Paul at 2.
I'm sorry.
And then one of my favorite players of all time to watch play in the New Jersey Nets uniform, Jason Kidd. And then of course, following those 3, we got LeBron and one of the most unsung point guards of all time, in my opinion, Mark Jackson, top 5 in assists. If you don't know, now you know. So my question for you guys is, I got to pull that down. Hold on. So my question for everybody is, name 3 point guards in the buzzer beater, and there's no extra context. Just name me 3. 3 point guards that don't get talked about enough, and why? The funny thing is, Bobby asked about that draft, and one of my point guards that I really wanted to talk about was in that draft. So Allen, you got some point guards in mind? Any 3?
Not that I have at the top of my head right now. Come back to me later. Come back.
He said
Bobby, man, point guards, man, little or less known point guards that don't get talked about enough. Who you got?
Little or less known. I mean, going for days. We can start with the mayor about Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson was one of the best players. He was a 20-10 guy. Had a finals appearance with the Phoenix Suns once upon a time. Famous for dunking on Akeem Olajuwon in a highlight reel that would live forever. Definitely doesn't get his fair due. You can go Mark Price, and it could be a homer thing, but no, Mark Price is one of the smoothest point guards to play. Not a high volume assist guy, but just his court generalship, shooting ability, IQ. He was definitely one of the better point guards during his era. You can go underrated. You can go guy like Rod Strickland. Rod Strickland was an inspiration for some guys at this day, like Kyrie Irving. Rod was smooth with the handle, get to the basket on anybody. Great finisher for an undersized player at the rim, either hand. Want me to keep going? I can keep going on point guards.
Let's get this. Give me. You did 3. All right, give me at least one more. And then we'll let Jay go.
Thank you. I ain't gonna cheat with Mark Jackson. How about I give you about Stephon Marbury, man? Stephon Marbury didn't get respected enough.
Let's throw Starbury out there. I like that. Jay, point guards, little known, less talked about point guards. Who you got?
Dang. So, where can I start as far as point guard? Since y'all took a lot of mine. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna start with Andre Miller.
Of course, you would say Andre Miller, right? Of course, you would. Check Big Ron out. Big Ron says Andre Miller too.
Right, I saw it I saw it pop up. But yeah, Andre Miller, man, mainly an assist guy. Wasn't known for scoring. I wouldn't dare call him a scorer.
He can score a little bit. He put the ball in the hole.
Yeah. And then I also go to a point guard like Baron Davis. Baron Davis, I kind of switch speeds a little bit because Baron Davis was the type of guy who, when you look at somebody like AI and how he played the game, he kept going to the foul line as small as he was. Like Baron Davis, you just wasn't going to. He was able to take that all that activity, man, and he was able to yam on you. I mean, you saw one of his most famous dunks of all time. On AK-47. You know what I'm saying? That was, to believe Warriors, with his, that dunk, I don't know if you ever heard his story about him telling the dunk, but like he said, he never even knew that he actually made the dunk until everybody was screaming. I see Ron says Mookie Blaylock. Yeah, Mookie. I'm gonna go ahead and raise you a Terrell Brandon.
Mm.
Pretty much like the prototype point guard of the 2000s or whatever the hell they named him. And Bobby, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They blew him up, boy. And he had that good he had that two. I give him 2 seasons, but he had that season was like MVP Terrell Brandon, like with the
Mm-hmm.
white. You know, they tried to like escort in a whole new little thing with him and Sean Kemp. Didn't work out. Sean Kemp don't know what the hell he was doing. But yeah, it didn't work out with that Sean Kemp experiment. But yeah, Terrell Brandon. Man, my Mark Price also, man, was underrated as a guard. Um, man, his free throws. And I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
sad to go to his free throws, but still, look at some of these dudes. Not saying a lot of them are missing free throws, but man, he was like 90 something percent like every season, every time he was on the court. Um, man. And then I go to some of the guys, man, that kind of like made the team go, man. This man said Kirk Heinrich. Man, if you don't
Hey,
get Ron
sleep,
about the
sleep on
hey,
it. You took mine.
hey,
You took it.
I,
You took mine, bro.
I
He
No.
said,
feel him. I feel him, man, and much love to Roy, pupil, whatever, but I mean, I give him that, man. I give him that. I give him a little Kurt. Kurt Heinrich did have a little soul to his game, man. And I like he
no, okay,
balled.
stop it. We're not
He
accepting
did.
Steve Blake, bro. If we
Nah,
were talking college
you
ball,
tripping now? Nah,
we
we
Steve,
take
ain't talking about
college ball,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
hey,
We ain't,
Steve. Everybody said though, Steve
we
Blake will
ain't
square up with you.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
about to say we ain't
wrong.
talking about boxing, dog.
Mm-mm.
We talking about basketball right now. Yeah, you lost it with Steve Blake. Damn, wrong. You went right off. You went Thelma Louise on that shit right there. Um. But yeah, man. I mean, so many point guards, man, that was able. Allen, let me know when you're ready. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
the
Mahmoud
point
Abdul
guard,
Rauf,
Oh,
aka Chris Jackson.
of
yeah,
course.
of course.
Um, and what I was about to say before we saw the Kurt Heinrich and Steve Blake, and then followed up by Steve Blake. Um, there was some point guards, man, that I look at, man, and be like, damn, man, it takes a professional, man, like the Kevin Ollies, like
Yeah.
the Jacques Vaughns, you know what I'm saying, that went on, they got on a team, stuck, did whatever the hell they had to do, play backup point guard, Chris
Mhm.
Childs, shit,
Shout
Charlie
out to
Ward,
Chris Childs
uh, um,
that left
Yeah.
foot.
uh,
Hey, Bibby,
man,
Mike
Bilbo
Bibby.
Cole,
Mike
Mike
Bibby.
Bibby,
That
Bilbo
was gonna
Cole,
be one I was gonna say was Mike Bibby.
Yo,
you
Bibby,
know,
man. Yeah,
there were some
Bibby,
point guards that
Bibby, and
that
Frank.
that
held
team. That's
careers just as long as these other guys that holding careers. The people talking like 20 year, 19 year, 17-year careers. Like there was
I
some
will
point
say
guards.
this. I will say this. He may have not had the stat line to back it up at times,
Mhm.
but one of my favorites to watch was Nate Robinson, just because the
oh,
man that small
Yeah.
making the plays that he did. That
Yeah.
was that was always fun to watch.
Let's go.
Everybody
Franchise.
talks. Everybody talks about that 2010, the 2010s Miami team that won all those championships with the Big Three. Everybody forgets that Mario Chalmers got lost in the shuffle with the Big Three there in Miami. He was one of my favorites, especially when he was at Kansas. And
Ooh.
kind of a
That was funny.
newer generation who's in the league right now. I'm kind of a low key Marcus Smart fan and what he did with Boston defensively.
Mm.
So I like obviously with me being here in Oklahoma, he was at Oklahoma State for a few years, so I got to see him in
Yeah.
college too. So he was fun to watch.
all
Kenny
right.
Anderson.
Oh, come on. Stop looking at my phone. Yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead and give mine over for somebody that says any of mine. Yo, so of course, growing up in that era of New York point guards, living in Jersey for a long time. My dad really was a Knicks fan, but he was so upset when they did not get an opportunity to get Kenny Anderson in a trade. I do remember that. But I remember Kenny Anderson was like one of those handles basket guys, and later on it was a jump shot that was really lethal. Another one that I really like. Low key, nobody talks about him enough, but when the torch was passed from John Stockton, this team needed a point guard, and somehow they got Deron Williams. And I'm talking about in Utah. He was nasty in Utah, but they never had a full team around him. You know, they had AK-47, they had a young Paul Millsap. You know, it was a different era in the game, and I think the Jerry Sloan style of basketball didn't really play well with Darren Williams, and then they sent him to Brooklyn, and he was like the number 2 or 3 scorer in the league at that time. But
and then Cleveland,
yeah, like the light-skinned cat that will put the ball in the hole. Yeah, by the time he got to Cleveland, yeah, he was done.
He only had like a month though.
Put the ball in the hole. Darren Williams definitely would do that. You know, one of the players that, and I'm talking about, this is recently, I got a lot of them, but for me recently, when the international allure kind of started, when it was one of the original, I can't wait till he comes to America players, Ricky Rubio started the YouTube sensation for me. When it was happening, Ricky, when you typed in Ricky Rubio before he got to America, you would have thought you was watching Pistol Pete highlights, okay? Right. Because of how good he was, and he was. This was before. What's my guy playing in Dallas right now?
Luka.
Yeah, Luka was not heard of at the time, but Ricky Rubio got drafted. Oh, we gotta wait 2 years for Ricky Rubio. He's gonna grow up. Blah blah blah. And then when he came, I don't think he disappointed. Although he didn't really get
pause.
Although he didn't really get to, you know, show off enough of his talent because of the teams he was on. I think Ricky Rubio was like one of the original. Hey, he's coming. Pause from Spain. His game is international. Here's the international game. This is what the players are going to look like in the future. I remember it being Ricky Rubio, and somebody that for me does not get enough. When I say does not get enough respect for us, I want to say like a 3-season span, maybe even 4. And it hits me right here in the heart because right when he deserved the check, he got hurt and he never recovered, or he never recovered from possibly getting that big check. And I'm talking about the young Isaiah Thomas, okay? And I'm talking about that season he had in Sacramento, right? Him not getting along with the coach in Phoenix, getting traded to Boston, balling out for 2 seasons, being top 3 and 4 and scoring 2 seasons in a row, getting hurt when he deserved the check. My heart goes out to Isaiah Thomas every time, man, because Allen, you brought it up, man. Smaller, diminutive sized players like Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson was dynamic and athletic. But Isaiah Thomas, although a big defensive liability, just had heart. I'm talking about go in there, go get in the lane, get you 2 points, but then mess around and you can't find him on that screen. Score 3 all the time, every day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, this is when, you know, the original iteration of, you know, Danny Ainge fleecing people was happening. Nobody knew that Danny Ainge was going to have, you know, Isaiah Thomas play so well. Nobody knew that Jeff Green was going to be good and then have a heart problem. You know, and we were expecting for Boston to be well during that iteration, but unfortunately it did not happen. But hey, those are my point guards, man. And I think we did pretty good, fellas. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, was anybody going to mention Rajon Rondo?
No.
Rondo's talked about. Rondo's one of the best point guards ever. He got 2 rings with 2 of the best franchises.
I mean, I don't hear him talk about much, not nowadays.
2 of the pinnacle of franchises in the NBA. Rondo got a ring with both of them. One with Boston, one with LA. Even though we don't talk about Rondo gets respect in the streets.
I'll tell you one that people don't realize. Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom's actually a point guard. He wasn't a point forward. He's a point guard. He played point guard in high school. He played point guard in college. The NBA turned him into a power forward. Lamar Odom is really a point guard.
The NBA turned him into a powder head. I was about to say,
no, the Kardashians did that.
What?
Yeah.
Shout out to Lamar, man. Yo, much mad respect for Lamar Odom. Another New York product right there. But guys, man, we do it. We did it again. We reached in the top of the second hour. I believe we had a great time. We had a great show. Alan, what you got going on this weekend? You doing lock it in with the gambling show tomorrow?
Yep. Lock it in tomorrow morning at 9:30 Central Time. So check that out. 10:30 on the East Coast for my East Coast brothers here. We'll be doing that, and then of course Sunday as well. I believe Sunday show is 10:30 Central, so it'll be 11:30 Eastern. So check it out then. And then I do the Sunday night post game, which this week is Green Bay Seattle, so it should be an interesting game. So and a bunch of other stuff as well.
I'm starting Geno Smith this weekend. Let's go, Bobby G. What you got going on for the rest of the weekend, brother?
Relaxation. No, just relaxing on the weekend. Next week, I guess I'll be RecRoom. Joining y'all for a few seconds, and then of course, the Thursday night post game show. Wildcard Mine. I think next, the Browns game got flexed, so I think next week's game is actually Denver and the Chargers Thursday. And then of course Friday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Audible Sports podcast for sports meets life and culture, man. Like I said, we had a spirited discussion earlier about Caitlin Clark's statements, and so look to have some more good talk next week.
That's right. Oh, what? Jay's showing the shirt off.
Showing my shirt off, man. I love it. My Jeopardy shirt.
Yeah, Vince Carter shirt.
Allen. What?
That's Vince Carter.
Man, stop playing.
Jay, what we doing next week, man? What you got?
I'm just saying.
Allen, what's the answer to this question, man?
No clue.
Wow.
You
got to go.
John Forte.
Oh man.
Yo, great ref.
Yeah.
But we'll be
No, I'm just kidding.
Shot McCants.
We'll be
Bill Belichick.
What do you say? Black History. Yeah, man.
Kenny
pretty
Smith.
much the RecRoom on Tuesdays. Just doing that, man. Tuesdays at 9:30, man. Shout out to Allen, everybody, Tanner, Scott, with Lock It In. Too bad I'll be locked in at work. But I definitely will try to watch and comment. I hate Saturdays now.
Yeah. And look, man. Saturdays is gonna be wide open with Lock It In on RecRoom. We got LTS right now, but later on we will be making some moves within the hoops. I want you to stay tuned for that. And don't be surprised if you get a chance to listen to RecRoom on your favorite listening app. Coming soon. We got a lot going on. I can't wait to tell y'all about it. It's going to be 2025. It's almost Christmas. We're going to be talking about the in-season tournament next week. I can't wait to do it again. I'm seasoning these ribs before I go to sleep, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of the show. We talk to y'all later. Peace.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.